Well, hello there, everyone. Welcome to Christopher's Entertainment Blog, and welcome back for another review video for Supergirl, Season 1, Episode 18, entitled World's Finest. And we finally are here to the crossover episode, the big epic crossover with The Flash and Supergirl. I know that since the beginning of the show started, everyone was asking, is there going to be a crossover episode with the Flash? And I think one of the big concerns is that the Supergirl is on CBS and Flash is on CW, so there may have been a conflict there. But I think CBS actually owns CW, if I'm not mistaken. So I don't think it was probably a too big of a hurdle. I know there's probably some red tape there, something that they had to work out, but they got it worked out, guys. They got it worked out, and I have to say, I think this was a really good episode. I don't think it was a great episode. I mean, it just seemed at times it seemed like a really great episode, but it just seemed like a little forced, like they forced the Flash in there a little bit. I mean, I don't know, maybe I'm seeing it wrong, but um I mean, because he shows up and it's just like, "Hi, I'm Barry Allen. I'm the Flash, and this is who I am, and this is what I look like." And it was just like, they really shoehorned it in there. I mean, and I really think that they trusted each other a little too easily too. I mean, you have Kara, who's Supergirl, that's never met this other, super human speedster. This speedster. I mean, she don't know who this guy is. I mean, he could be an enemy. I mean, she's met all these other aliens that's tried to do her harm and try to destroy the city and whatnot. And then all of a sudden, this guy shows up, and she's just like, "Oh, okay, let's team up." And it's just like, even for Barry Allen, I mean, he don't know who this girl is, and he sees that she's super powered. I mean, he does not know what is happening. I mean, he's on another world. I mean, he doesn't know. So, I mean, I think especially for Carr, I think they accepted him a little too quickly, and then she takes him into their hideout with Win and James there, and they're all buddy buddy, and it was just like, okay. I mean, I understand, they only had like 45 or 50 minutes to really make this episode and get it in there, but I do think there should have been a little resistance there at first. I mean, you even see Supergirl takes him into the DEO, and there was a little bit of resistance there from Lucy, and they pull the guns on him, and then they're just like, "Oh, okay, whatever. Just go ahead and fool around with the computer system and our top secret information. We don't know who you are. We haven't, vetted you anyway. We haven't asked you any questions or interrogated you in any way. But, because even though they interrogated John Jones like the previous episode or whatever, they were just grilling him like, you're an alien, and you're dangerous, and now you have this superhuman speedster that can fly around and just just do destruction if he wanted to. They don't know who this guy is, but they trust him so easily. So that may have been a negative. I know I'm ranting on that, but that was probably a negative that was just funny to me. It didn't really take me out too much, but it just seems odd that they had it like that. Siobhan in this episode again. I mean, I'm starting to like her a little more. I mean, she's a terrible human being, and it really shows in this. She really brought out her true colors. I mean, even in the end, Wynn was trying to talk her out of it, and come back. I'll help you and whatever. She almost tried to kill him. She tried to kill him. So it really shows that she was always a terrible human being. Um, but I gotta say, the makeup that she had on was badass. I mean, I like the whole Day of the Dead, look with the skull face looking. I mean, I thought that was awesome. Livewire is probably one of my favorite villains of this season with electrical power. I think she was pretty cool. I do think they underused these characters. They made them come off as a little cheesy or a little campy. I mean, the way they acted, what they did, and everything, and it just I don't know. I think they could have did a little darker tone, a little better, but overall, I think this was a fun episode, and I really do like those characters, and I think that they probably could do something a little better with them. I really do. I mean, I'm liking the Siobhan Banshee look. I mean, I'm liking that with her. So now that we got the old Siobhan Smythe out of the way, maybe now we can get into something a little cooler than her whining and crying all the time and being obnoxious. So I'm liking those. I'm liking those two characters. I like Kat in this. She was really, urging on Kara to get in with James. I was surprised. I mean, didn't she like you know, Kara dated her son, and now all of a sudden she's like, okay, I want you to go after James. This is what you do, and I don't know. They kind of swept that under the rug a little bit, but overall, I like Kat in this. I thought she was really good. And you could really tell in this episode that Grant Gustin and Melissa Benoist were having a fun time being on screen together. It seems like they were always laughing or having fun. It seemed like they worked well together too. That chemistry with them two together, and it showed through the screen that I think these two were really having fun on set and had a blast doing this. That ending scene with them with the race, I think it was a little suspect, that race at the end, because how in the heck is Supergirl keeping up with the Flash? I don't know. That's another thing that was a small negative that I'll just, it's a nitpick negative, but I'll just let it pass. One of the other small negatives that I had with this episode was they're letting so many of these civilians into the DEO. I mean, it's supposed to be like this top secret military agency that's supposed to be under the radar and everything, and now Lucy's ahead of the DEO. I mean, you think she would have stricter policies than Hank, but I mean, they let Savon in there. They just bring her in there and have her get evaluated. I thought was like, what is happening? And then she's like walking around the facility and checking out all the like the villains and everything in the cages. It's like, what is happening? And then she comes back then later on and breaks out Livewire. I'm like, how is this? How is she getting into this place? I mean, doesn't it have like military, like, people? I mean, military protection around this facility? It's supposed to be top secret. I don't know. I found that really just terrible. And then you got Win and James coming in and out of this building, and the Flash is showing up, and they're just like, oh, okay, go ahead and you know take look at our computer system and whatever, and do whatever you want. We're not going to interrogate you. We're not going to find out who you are. It just seemed, yeah, I didn't really care much for that. I thought that was bad. I understand they had to run through it as quickly as possible. It's just things were just so rushed in this episode. I think they could have slowed it down a little bit. I think that's the one problem when you only have like a 1 hour episode as opposed to 2 hours. I think they could have probably done a little more if it was a 2 hour event, like a special event. That I think they probably could have did a little more to really have a little more character development with the Flash and Kara and the DEO and this trust issue right here. They just popped in and it was just like, I trust you, you trust me, let's do it. It's just like, okay. So that was just nitpick negative. I still think this was a fun overall episode, guys. I miss seeing John Jones and Alex in this, though. I really wanted to see them, and they didn't have them in this. So that was probably a negative too. The whole thing with the James situation, I think it was a negative for me about James. I mean, I think he was, you could see he was like jealous of Barry, and it was just like I just don't know if that was like his character would do that. I mean, it just seemed kind of odd. Like all of a sudden he's jealous now of Barry Allen. But he wasn't jealous of Cat Grant's son when Kara and him were dating. So now all of a sudden James is a little jealous, and it's showing. I mean, I just that was a negative. I just think that was a little ridiculous having him, pouting around and being this jealous guy. So yeah, that was a negative. I really, really liked this episode. I thought it was really good. It wasn't great, but I really hope they do another one. Maybe Supergirl can pop over to the Flash's world maybe one time, or maybe the Flash can come back. I mean, I think they could probably mess around and do some cool stuff with this. But I think it was really fun having both of these characters on screen, and I thought it was a really cool thing at the end where it wasn't the Flash or Supergirl that took out Livewire. It was the firefighters, which is like kind of like this little wink that says firefighters are the real life heroes in real life. So I mean, I think that's one little wink that the writers or whatever wrote in there, that it wasn't Supergirl or Flash that beat these baddies. It was the firefighters in the end. So that was kind of cool. I did like that. But hey guys, if there's anything that I missed that you guys want to talk about, what you liked about the episode or what you didn't like about the episode, please write in the comments below. But that will do it for me for this week. I will see you next week for another Supergirl review. Until then, take it easy.